In the previous video we saw how voting for the Scottish Parliament is organised, and we looked at a simplified example of the d'Hondt system, which is used to calculate the allocation of regional seats. In this video we'll look at 2016's election results for a real-world example of how it all works. We know that the number of constituency seats won by each party is a key factor when it comes to calculating the regional seats. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the 2016 constituency results. In the Highlands and Islands, SNP dominated, winning 6 out of the 8 seats, while the Liberal Democrats picked up the remaining 2 in Orkney and Shetland. SNP had a very comfortable win in North East Scotland, winning 9 seats and only losing Aberdeenshire West to the Conservatives. In Mid Scotland and Fife, North East Fife went to the Lib Dems, while SNP scooped up the other 8 seats. West Scotland saw the SNP winning almost every seat, with the Conservatives winning in Eastwood and Labour winning Dumbarton. SNP swept up every single seat in Glasgow, and did the same in Central Scotland. In Lothian, SNP got 2/3 of the constituency seats, with Conservatives, Lib Dems and Labour winning 1 each. Finally, in South Scotland at the border with England, we see the only real competition to SNP dominance. This is the only region where SNP got less than the majority of constituency seats. They won 4, the Conservatives also won 4, and Labour picked up 1. When you add it all up, SNP got 59 constituency seats, while all the other parties combined only managed to win 14. So you could have been forgiven for thinking that SNP were set for a massive majority in the Scottish Parliament. But you've already watched part 1 of this video, so you know that the Scottish election system is specifically designed to make it difficult for any single party to gain a majority of seats. For this example, let's take a close look at what happened in the Glasgow region. As we saw, SNP scooped up all the constituency seats, leaving none for the other parties. Most SNP supporters also gave their regional votes to the party. In fact, the SNP regional vote represented over 86% of their constituency vote, giving them a massive lead over all the other parties. But, as we know, resounding wins in the constituencies will increase the regional vote divisor to punitive levels. Look at what actually happened in 2016. In the first round of calculations, the SNP vote was automatically divided by 10, and this happened in every round. The other party votes in round 1 were left untouched, and the first regional seat went to Labour. In round 2, the Labour votes were halved, but they still squeaked into first place and secured the second seat. The third round is taken by the Conservatives, and when their vote is halved in the fourth round, this allows the Green Party to win the seat. The votes are looking much more even now, but with the Green vote halved, Labour win the seat. In the sixth round, despite having their original total divided by 4, Labour still managed to stay ahead and take their 4th seat with only 1 more round to go. And in the final round, Labour's divisor of 5 leaves the Conservatives to pick up the last seat in this region. So despite what looked like a huge initial advantage, SNP didn't win any regional seats in Glasgow, and the 7 seats that were available were distributed among most of the other parties. And we see this pattern repeated in all of the other regions where SNP dominated the constituencies. In Central Scotland, North East Scotland, Mid Scotland and Fife, West Scotland and Lothian, the SNP got nothing, despite having visibly superior numbers of regional votes. In the Highlands and Islands, strong Liberal Democrat support won them both Orkney and Shetland constituencies, so SNP started out with a lower divisor for the calculations and managed to pick up a single seat. The only region where this scenario changed significantly was in South Scotland. SNP domination is fiercely challenged here by the Conservatives, and in 2016 both of those parties won an equal amount of constituency seats, 4 each. The regional votes weren't far apart either, so it's worth taking a quick look to see how things turned out there. With SNP and Conservative votes being divided by 5, Labour took the first seat, instantly levelling out the playing field. Seat 2 went to SNP, while the Conservatives won the third. The fourth round went to SNP, with Labour taking the fifth seat. With only a few thousand votes separating them, the calculations were now very tight for most of the parties. SNP squeezed by in the sixth round with a margin of only 380 votes between them and the Conservatives, who then went on to take the region's final seat. SNP then had their best regional result, but it should be clear that this was only because they had taken fewer constituency seats, and their divisor, the number that the regional vote is divided by, was significantly lower than in any other region. So what impact did the 2016 regional vote have on the final makeup of the Scottish Parliament? Most of the regional seats were divided between Labour and the Conservatives, and the Liberal Democrats managed to get one as well. The Green Party secured 6 regional seats, even though they hadn't won any constituency seats at all. And SNP, despite their massive constituency win, only got 4. Many independent supporters are confused by the SNP's current strategy of both votes SNP for the forthcoming election. After all, we can clearly see that in almost every region, the SNP gained absolutely nothing, despite having huge regional support. Many believe that by giving their list vote to another independent supporting party, the pro-independence majority in Holyrood can be greatly increased, and the numbers are very strongly supportive of this idea. The most obvious caveat to this strategy, though, is that in order for it to succeed, the SNP will have to repeat their past successes across the constituencies. In addition, the pro-independence electorate would have to collectively decide to get behind a single non-SNP party. Success for this strategy would depend on everyone keeping a close eye on the polls in their constituency. But elections
are not won by polls. They're won by votes, at least in this country.
Aye, thanks. I was going to say that. If you want to explore the numbers further and test different scenarios with constituency wins and regional votes and all of that good fun stuff, then I've built a spreadsheet calculator which you can download from here. And I'll drop a link to it in the description below. That's all for just now. Join me in part 3 where I'll be taking a quick look at the 2011 election and asking what went right.